Everybody's always pointing at me.
Yeah, they usually laugh.
I know. 20 seconds? 20 seconds! From now or when you said it?
Either way.
4 seconds.
3 seconds. Oh. 4, 3. I fell down last night. I got pushed down when we ran in. Like, no joke. I got a train on the knee now.
Oh, wait.
I
It's not as fun when there's not drums going, is it? It's just kind of disappointing. Well, you guys are a lot slower coming in this morning than you were last night. Everybody get some sleep last night? No, neither did I. So we're all tired this morning. So we're gonna sing a couple of songs. You guys ready? No? Maybe? Paxton's ready. There were walls between us. By the cross you came and broke them down. You broke them down. And there were chains around us. And by your grace we are no longer bound. No longer bound. You called me out of the grave. You called me into the light. You called my name and then my heart came alive. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Feel the darkness shaking, and all the dead are coming back to life. I'm back to life, and hear the song awaken, all creation singing, we're alive, 'cause you're alive. You call me out of the grave, you call me into the light, you call my name and then my heart came alive. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Your love is greater. You know, that wasn't too bad for half asleep.
Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. Speak to us. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. 'Cause when you speak, when you move, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we seek. And when you come in a room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. You're changing everything. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we're leaning into all you are. Everything else can wait. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, come now and breathe upon our hearts. Come now and have your way. 'Cause when you speak and when you move, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we seek. And when you come in a room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. You're changing everything. When you move all our fears. When you move us to tears. When you move all our fears. Yes, you do. When you move us to tears. When you fall, we fall on our knees. When you fall, we fall at your feet. When you fall, we fall on our knees. And when you fall, we fall at your feet. Yeah, 'cause when you speak, when
Would you guys pray with me? Dear God, we're just so grateful to be here this morning. We're so pumped to get out and go make a difference in this world today. Lord, I pray for Morgan as he comes and gives us our message this morning, Lord, and that you bless the words that he speaks. It's in your mighty and powerful name that we pray. Amen. Yes, go have a seat.
Yeah. You're good.
My name is Abby Bridges. I'm 17 years old and I am a senior at Siegel High School. One thing that's really been tested throughout my life is the idea of comparison. When I have self-doubt and I see how other people may see me at times, I tend to compare myself, my failures to other people's successes, and sometimes when Satan sees me doing that in that vulnerable state, he really gets to me and picks at me. But thank goodness God is so great because he sees me as I am and how worthy I am, despite me maybe not being as pretty or as worthy or as talented or smart as somebody else as I may think. And I think all girls struggle with this, how they look, how they feel, how they like what they wear. It's really something that gets you down, but God accepts you and sees you as you are. That whole idea of comparison is wiped out by his grace and justice. No one ever is going to be a better me than me, and no one ever is going to be a better you than you. So thank goodness that he's so great and he sees us as we are.
No. There we are. Mary Martha, where you at? Get on up here. All right, Mary Martha is about to teach us a little something. Hey, whoa, settle down. Don't be too excited. All right, you ready?
Hey everybody, so my name is Mary Martha. My voice hurts because I'm always screaming at you guys, so I'm really sorry. But this started, okay, so my sister's Emily, and they call her Double L, and she did this, and so then when she graduated 4 years ago, she basically was like, this is your job now, so here I am. So instead of doing Hey Burrito or the frog one, we're going to do a different one, yay. So here's how we're going to start. Oh, it's 4. Okay, we'll make it more fun. So I know that you guys have heard this, it's called a Live Awake Alert, but we're not doing it the way you think it is with the hand motions. So if you're alive, then you're going to be in this section. So everybody who's alive, stand up. Yay. Okay, now sit down. Now this section's going to be alert. So wait, stand up. Yay. Okay, now sit down. And then this section and this section are going to be alert. No, wait, you're awake. Sorry. Alive, awake, alert. Y'all are alert. So y'all stand up. Alert. Okay, sit down. And then when I say enthusiastic, everybody stands up. Woo! So here's how it's going to go. Every time I say your word, you're going to stand, and it's going to get faster and faster, and until everybody stands up, then we are not going to go. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Ready? I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Woo! I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Woo! I'm alive, awake, alert. I'm alert, awake, alive. I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Woo! Here we go, ready? Everybody has to sit down. And you have to sit down between. That makes it more fun. Ready. I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Woo! I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Woo! I'm alive, awake, alert. I'm alert, awake, alive. I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Woo! Okay, I'll see y'all at the next session. Dan K. Burrito.
Thank you, Mary Martha. Let's hear it for Mary Martha. All right, y'all are in for a real treat this morning. The man, the myth, the legend, Morgan Wright, college freshman. There you go.
All right, is this thing on? All right, I have no idea how to work this thing. Y'all doing all right this morning? Everybody awake? Appreciate Mary Martha waking everybody up. Can we get another hand for Abby and Kaylin for what they did this morning? I needed to hear that. I needed to hear a lot of that. You can go ahead and turn on the presentation. So, full disclosure, I'm pretty nervous this morning. Joe gave me a lot of heads up to talk this morning. I had about 8 days. Who was here last year? All right. Who spoke Saturday morning last year? All right, right. So it's pretty hard to follow the words of Cliff. I'm not really worried about the words of Cliff. I'm more worried about the biceps that dude showed off last year. Right? I mean, that's hard. I mean, Joe asked me to do this like 8 days ago, and I was like, I can't follow that. I can't follow that at all. Abby touched on it a little bit, probably what I'm going to talk about this morning, and that's where we turn when we get in the rut. Joe talked last night about the rut that we get in, and sometimes it's not a David rut, right? It's not one of these, apocalyptic sins that we have to get past. Sometimes it's just a rut. You just don't feel right. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that this morning. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, some of the ruts that I got in, some of the life events that happened, where I turned. And a lot of times in life, it feels like this intersection. This is not Nashville, believe it or not. But you have options, right? Especially right now, at this generation, at this point in time, you have a lot of options on where to turn. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this morning through my story. You can switch it. So y'all know me. I'm Morgan Wright. I'm Hayden's dad. Everybody say hi to Hayden. All right. Hayden's been freaking out all week because I told him I was going to stick baby pictures of him throughout this entire thing. So, but this is me, okay? 40-year-old dude, dad of 4, happily married, good job, all kinds of stuff, right? So you can go to the next one. This is also me. Shout out to my college freshman guys. Where you at? Yep. Manning that hair, man. I mean that. Yeah. Anyway, so most of you all know this guy, and so I'm going to show you a little bit of a different perspective about my story, how I got to all these wrinkles and things like that, different events, and where I've turned. So let's start with our verse. If we can go to the next slide, and we're going to read through our verse, and I'd like y'all to read verse 10 with me. As you know, we do every Sunday, I wanted to get a little bit more in context to where the verse was written. And so we're going to go a little bit past verse 10 here. But if you can read with me, Psalm 51:10, verse 10, read it. Create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a loyal spirit within me. Do not banish me from your presence, and don't take your Holy Spirit from me, actually. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and make me willing to obey you. Then I will teach your ways to rebels, and they will return to you. So, thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about verse 10. Oh, go back. You get to see that in a sec. I'm going to talk a little bit about verse 10, which is our verse for the weekend. And then I'm going to talk about this restore the joy. And when I talk about joy, I'm not talking about, and we'll show examples of this, but we're going to talk about a different kind of joy. A long-term joy, an everlasting joy. Okay, so I want you to remember verse 12 along with verse 10 as we go through this morning. All right, so now you can go to the next slide. Next slide. All right, so this is me in 8th grade. All right, 8th grade freshman year. Where are my Oakland people at? We got any Oakland people? Yeah, all right. All right, so looks a little bit different. Things were going a little bit differently then. A couple things to point out. You can laugh at me all you want to. I'm good with it. No shame there. Another thing to quickly point out, the leaders in the back of the room, we didn't go from like birth to 40, all right? We were your age once. We have been in your shoes once. Your parents have been in your shoes once, okay? So we have gone through some of the things you are going through. But, yeah, this was pathetic. Just to tell you a little bit about this guy. And some of you are probably like that and felt that a little bit last night. Some of you are here this weekend and you're like, this is awesome. I get to check the box doing a church thing. I get to hang out with my friends, no parents. I'll listen to a couple talks, music. I'm doing good. I'm doing good in school. I play a couple sports. I'm doing some extracurriculars, making good grades. That's what this guy was, okay? Checked all the boxes. Everything was golden. Joe talked last night a little bit about seasons. There's a Hillsong United song that talks about winter coming. The song Seasons, and it says winter comes for us all, right? There will be winters in your life. You may be in a really, really good spot, right? You haven't done the David thing, right? That doesn't mean you don't need to pay attention this weekend, and I'm going to give you some examples of winter coming. And winter will come for everybody. And it has come for you, and it will come again. That's just how it works. But this guy was in a really good spot. No big events, no nothing. Okay? You can go to the next slide. So this is sophomore year in high school. This here, boys and girls, is a sad attempt at a boy band. Yeah, this is sophomore year. So I'm the one, there's a lot of plaid here. There's a lot of unbuttoned shirts and khakis. It's pretty pathetic. Just to point out a couple things here. That is me, the second one over. The third one over, you might also recognize. That's Dr. Trey Carey. Yeah, absolutely. Also, quick footnote, if you never want to have to make a talk again, just burn both the senior pastors within the first 5 minutes, and you shouldn't have to do this anymore. But yeah, that was Trey. This was a really, really sad attempt at a boy band that we did. Trey was a senior, I was a sophomore at the time, and we did choir together and drama and had a really good time. So we go way back. This was sophomore year in high school. Things were going great at Oakland, doing really good. Choir, like I said, choir, drama, basketball, baseball, things are going great, okay? Sophomore year, started to have some fainting spells, okay? Started to pass out in class. And so we didn't really know what it was. We thought it might be hormones because I was growing a lot, and didn't really know what it was. Thought it might be diabetes. Just had really no idea what it was. So we went to Vanderbilt, and we went to St. Thomas, and nobody could really figure out what it was. So they put me on some medication, and doctors will tweak medication sometimes, and so, I'd be dribbling, and all of a sudden I'd just fall, right? Or would get dizzy and fall over. I'd have another spell. My parents are freaking out, naturally. So ended up going to the Mayo Clinic about a year later. At this point, I'd had probably around 60 to 70 spells where I would just go black. I would out 30 seconds, get back up again. Okay, they weren't like the seizures where you see people shaking. I was just out. And so we went to Mayo, spent my junior year spring break at the Mayo Clinic, rocking spring break. There was like 4 feet of snow on the ground. And they put me in the epilepsy monitoring unit, which is they make you go to sleep, or they make you stay awake, and then try to induce a seizure. So I ended up having one, and I woke up, and they had the paddles over me from the AED, like they were ready to just shocked me back. So come to find out, at the time, I was one of 4 people that had been diagnosed alive of having ictal bradycardic syndrome, which is a rare form of epilepsy that makes your heart stop. So instead of doing the shaky stuff, the grand mal kind of seizures that you see, it just told my heart to stop. And on the EKG, you could see it. It would stop for 30 to 40 seconds. The seizure would end, and my heart would start back. And so it would go, normal heartbeat, flatline. And then for some reason, I would wake back up. So obviously at 16, 17 years old, that's a lot to take in, okay? A lot to try to figure out. That afternoon, I went in and they put a pacemaker in. Okay, so here I was doing really good at basketball, right? Doing the whole superlative thing. I had to figure out, 1, why was my heart stopping? Why was my heart starting back? And then 2, I had a pacemaker, which is not the coolest thing to have in high school, right? I mean, that's a little weird. A lot to try to figure out. So I didn't really have a lot of joy, like verse 12 talks about, right? I mean, I was processing a lot. And so, on the ride home from Minnesota, which is a long way away from here, I was trying to figure out where to turn, right? Turns are a theme. And there are a lot of directions you can go with that, right? I decided to try to earn my way out of it. You can go to the next slide. I said, if I try hard enough and I work hard enough, I can get right back to where I was in basketball. My whole goal at this point was to simply go to Auburn University. Where are my Auburn people at? No. Yeah. All I wanted to do my entire life was go to Auburn and be a veterinarian. That's it. So I really worked hard. Hard. I trained a lot. I got my shot back in basketball, which takes a lot when you have a pacemaker. I mean, I had to get the old faith of the coach back. I mean, it was a lot. But I thought I could earn my way back into joy, right? So if I keep notching off these goals, I'll feel better. And that's where I turned at this time, right? And it worked. I mean, things were going great. I was back playing basketball, did the whole choir thing. Nobody treated me weird because I had a pacemaker. I kind of convinced everybody that it was no big thing. It was okay, all right? But it was only temporary. Let's move ahead a little bit. All right, so, yeah, this is really embarrassing. Things are going good, senior year, right? It was like 30 degrees when we did this. It was really stupid. But this is a group of Oakland students. This is back when Oakland was absolutely terrible at football, so we had to do stuff to get people to come to games. This is a group of seniors. Senior year was going fantastic. At this point, I had been accepted into Auburn. Things were going great. I was happy. Basketball team getting ready to roll again, going into that senior season. There was a lot going on, but things were great. This was mostly a group of seniors. There's a couple juniors and sophomores in here. That's me, the A over here on this side. The A on this side is a guy named Alex Hendricks. Alex was a junior. His brother and my brother played striker soccer together. And so we were real good friends. Alex played basketball with us. Our families were close. We were tight. We were tight. You can go to the next slide. So this is homecoming 1996. I know that seems like a century ago. That is my lovely wife over there on the left. That's Jill. This was homecoming night. Great night. Fantastic. Senior year homecoming. Everything's going great. You like the hair, by the way? Bowl cut. Hayden won't let me bring that back. But everything's going great. A lot of our friends are on the homecoming court. Just a great night. Alex is on the homecoming court with us. Several other basketball players. It was just a lot of fun. We were at the game. Everything was going great. It started to rain a little bit, and so we all left. Girls in their dresses and stuff like that. So we all left to go to the dance, which was at Oakland. So we get there, and they're doing the thing. After about 20 minutes, the dance is going on, and they start to introduce the court right at the homecoming dance. And we noticed that part of the homecoming court wasn't there. Alex and his date weren't there, and the freshman class weren't there. So the junior and freshman class who rode together weren't at the dance 20 minutes in. Okay? They wanted to go ahead and keep the dance going, but we started to, they left the same time we did. Where were they? So we thought they might have gone to the store or something like that. As they started to introduce us, we started to hear word of a wreck. But they wanted to make sure that they introduced us, and we were all kind of like, wait a minute. We started to connect the dots. They're not here. There's a wreck. Do we have to do this right now? You can go to the next slide. So, right on Thompson Lane, as you're making the turn to go towards Oakland, the roads were wet, car slid, and Alex, that's Alex, along with Michael Taglio, died in a car wreck on the way to the homecoming dance. These are two basketball players. The girls, that's Erica Lufkin. The girls had some broken bones. They were okay. But Alex died about 2 hours later in the hospital. We left immediately when we heard of the wreck. Then I met his family at the hospital and stayed the night there with them. But it was terrible. It was terrible. A few days later, I had to do the memorial speech representing the basketball team. So we had a memorial ceremony in the Oakland gym. If any of you have been to Oakland, you've seen the fountain out front, the memorial fountain. We built that about 2 weeks after that. Following this, it was hard. I was a senior. I had to help lead the basketball team through this. The school was hurting. Back then, it was only Oakland and Riverdale. So, it was half the town that was hurting. So I tried to play a role in kind of leading us through that. His brother was hurting. And this whole time, I'm sitting there trying to figure out, why was my heart starting back like it was? And he just died on the spot. Right? So there was this outward pain and this inward struggle going on at the same time. And so that's another one of those seasons that hits that I had no idea where to turn, right? I had accomplished these goals, but then winter came again, and I'm back in the same spot of just this pain. There's no joy there, right? So this time, I didn't really know where to turn, and so you can go to the next slide. So this time, I just tried to, I was like, okay, let's just everybody have a good time. Let's get through this. Let's, be cool. Let's be social. Let's kind of just be happy and kind of get our way through this, right? There's only a short time left in senior year. Let's just try to have fun. If I focus on just making good friends and being cool, then this will go away. And it worked. It worked. We had a great senior basketball season. Everything was great. Prom king, all that good stuff, right? That stuff matters. It's important, right? And I felt great. So graduate high school, everything's going great. And you can go to the next slide. Anybody seen Braveheart? Right? Mel Gibson, what's he scream? What's college freshman? What's he going to feel like when you go away to college, right? Freedom. Right? Freedom, yeah. So I'd accomplished my goal, right? I'd done everything that I ever wanted to do. This is Auburn, okay? It's a great picture of Auburn, actually, War Eagle. All I'd ever wanted to do was go to Auburn, okay? I checked all the boxes. I was happy. I had accomplished the goals, right? I'd check. I was cool. I was in the in crowd, check. And I'd gone to Auburn. This is all I ever wanted to do, check, right? I get to Auburn. My parents leave. We ball for like 4 hours after they left. And then I'm there. And I don't know a soul, just to be clear. I don't know anybody. And it was the loneliest feeling in the world. Everything that I thought was important up to that point, grades, accomplishments, superlatives, all that other stuff, being cool, these things that in high school you put value in middle school you put value in, gone. Just gone, right? And that nailed me. The whole value system that I had turned to in these times of trouble, gone. Okay? So now I'm at Auburn, and I'm in a really bad spot. Okay? I did fine in school. Everything was okay, but I didn't know anybody. It was a lonely time. It was a really lonely time. We talked last night in our group with the college freshmen about going away, and it's fearful. I mean, it's scary, but it's also awesome. Well, this was that scary time. Okay? So I found some friends and, got into a group. You can go to the next slide. This time to get out of this lonely feeling, this lack of joy, I turned to the stuff that your parents kind of warn you about. Okay? Drinking, partying. I mean, I did it up. I did everything you could possibly do in college. Everything you could possibly do in college. Okay? I mean, lived it up. Okay? Joe talks about the 1,000 steps. You turn around one. I did about 999. Okay? I felt terrible. Okay? You go to the next slide. This is what it felt like. Okay? I knew the right places to turn. I just turned somewhere else to get away from this lonely feeling, to get out of this rut. Okay? This is where I turned. Okay? I knew there was light. I knew the light. I'd led you Sundays, right? I mean, did the whole Sunday school thing. I was the president of FCA at Oakland. And I was feeling terrible. Terrible. Okay? That stuff, that partying, that alcohol stuff, there's a reason your parents warn you about it. Y'all all know that. All these things were just short-term things, okay, that I was turning to this entire time. So I'm feeling terrible. This goes on for about 3 years. My wife's not talking to me anymore. I gained like 50 pounds. I mean, I'm a big old guy, right? It was miserable. It was miserable. And again, it was just a really, really bad place. And I'm sure there are adults and kids in here that have all been in the same place. I see nodding heads up here. Okay? And you don't have to do this kind of stuff to be in that dark place. I want to make that really clear. You also don't have to go away to be in that dark place. Okay? You could be right where you've always been and be in a dark place. And it doesn't have to be a partying-induced dark place. Okay? But this is what it feels like nonetheless, right? You know there's light. You're just not in it. Okay? So, you can go to the next slide. So, junior year of college at Auburn, I was on choir tour with the Auburn Singers, and we went to the National Cathedral. Anybody been in the National Cathedral? Nobody's been to Washington, D.C.? All right, there we go. Or you're just bored at this point. So, National Cathedral, amazing place. We went to sing there on Sunday morning, amazing. Every state has a Sunday. This was Alabama Sunday, so they invited us to come sing. You can go to the next slide. So here's where we were singing from. This is the view we had, except there were people in there. Full church, okay? We're singing church hymns. Here I am. I mean, not in a real good place, okay? Miserable. No light anywhere in my life. I'm standing right there singing church hymns in an absolutely beautiful church. Beautiful church. When I was typing out this story and talking out what I was going to talk about, the irony of that is pretty strong, right? I mean, here I am, no light in my life. I mean, doing stuff that shouldn't be doing, and here I am in the National Cathedral singing hymns in a church. all right? Some of you may be feeling that right now. You may be in a dark place, and you're here right now singing hymns in a church. Okay, I just want to point that out. I'm just going to call out in case you didn't pick up on that. Amazing thing about this church, I was just kind of going through the motions. Okay, I'm up there singing hymns, blah, 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 blah. Can we get back so I can party a little bit more? When you sing, you see this long corridor? This is the center through the church, okay? When you sing, you're just up there singing. And we had to practice this. But the echo from the corridor comes all the way back at you like 3 or 4 seconds later, okay? And so you have to really concentrate when you're singing there because you start hearing what you're singing back like 5 seconds later and you can get pretty confused. So we're singing, and all of a sudden I hear it coming back to us. And I start listening to the words that we've been singing. And I kind of just went numb. Singing in a full church, still kind of moving my mouth and singing the songs, but I kind of went numb. And I just started to think, right there in the middle of the National Cathedral, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're standing here in a church singing amazing hymns with a great choir. What are you doing? Like, the stuff you've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years, what are you doing? Like, is this joyful? Like, is this, what you're supposed to be doing with your life? And I mean, I almost got to crying right there in the middle of the National Cathedral, but I had to kind of focus and get going. But it really rocked me. Singing in that church at that time in my life rocked me. Okay, so we drive back. We have about 15, 16-hour drive from Washington, D.C., and I just started to replay the last 6 to 8 years of my life, that whole ride home. And I could see the turns that I was making. And they weren't the right place. And so I recall back to that beautiful cathedral that we were just singing in, and I could see that the stuff that I was turning to was all temporary stuff, right? Achievement, being cool, social status, the partying stuff, okay? Living it up, having fun. Just if you can't find joy, at least just party your way through it. That wasn't working. I was miserable. You can go to the next one. So, what if I turned to a different source this time? Okay? What if I turned to Jesus this time? I wasn't going to church. I wasn't anywhere involved in a ministry anywhere. I was living about me and me only. That's what I was doing. And I felt terrible. So I started to go to church. Went to Auburn United Methodist Church. And I just made myself go. I didn't feel like going. I just made myself go. Okay? And I got back into the rhythm. And then I actually started to hear what they were saying every Sunday once I started to make myself go. And I noticed my decisions started to change. People were asking, do you want to go out? I was like, no. I think I'll hang here. Do you want a beer? No. Not right now. And I started to make better choices over and over and over again. Before long, my grades started to improve a little bit. I was finding joy in places that I hadn't found joy in a long time. It was just different. It was like somebody had flipped a light switch on in my life. Like it was a new feeling that I had not had in a long, long time. You can go to the next one. I was here. Okay? This is where I turned. And it flipped a switch for me. Let's go to the verse again. Creating me a clean heart. Renew a loyal spirit in me. I had been renewed. I love this verse. I hadn't read this verse until Joe asked me to do this 8 days ago. But I love this verse. I was new. I was a college junior. I was new. Okay? Just by making a turn. to the right place. Restore to me the joy. I had joy in my life again, and it was a different joy than I had felt in a long, long time. Okay? This is where you have to turn. I'm speaking from personal experience here. Okay? This is where you have to turn to get a joy that gets you through the winters. Okay? The other stuff that we talked about, achievement, social status, partying, this short-term stuff, won't get you through the winters. It just gets you to the next one. Then a winter happens, and then you're in a mess again. Okay? You can go to the next slide. So these are things that I know as of right now. Okay? Actually, let's stay here. So, forgot a part. So, renewed, everything's good, right? Happy story, happy ending, all that good stuff, right? No, not even close. Graduate college, get my first job. 2 weeks in, I'm making money. I'm doing great. This is awesome. Thanksgiving holiday, okay? Thanksgiving. Would have been Thanksgiving 2001. On my way back, had been spending Thanksgiving here in Murfreesboro. I was heading back to Knoxville. I worked with NHC, for those of you whose parents work for NHC. Apartment fire. Burned down everything. Didn't have renter's insurance. I lost everything. Okay? Everything. I had a bag of clothes that I took home with me for the Thanksgiving weekend, and that is it. Okay? So this was another winter, right? And I could have turned a lot of different places. I was 22. I lost a lot of material things in this. A lot. Probably the thing that still hurts me the most, I lost the Michael Jordan rookie card for some of you older people in the room. A lot. A lot of valuable stuff. And it would have been very easy for me to turn and say, I got to get my stuff back. Like, I lost a lot, but now's an opportunity for me to get new clothes, new speakers, a lot of new stuff, right? New PlayStation. PlayStation had just come out. It was awesome. First one. This would have been a chance for me to turn to different things, like, or I could turn back to the party and stuff and drown my feeling away. I didn't have a bed. The Red Cross gave me a toothbrush. They paid for a hotel that night. My parents were on the way up from South Carolina at the time, and I was by myself in Knoxville. The very next morning, the first thing I went to buy, a Bible. I lost my Bible. First thing I bought. I didn't have a bed. I didn't have a pillow. I had nothing. But I had learned from the other winters and where I turned in those winters to get to what makes an everlasting joy. Okay? So these are things that I know. Life happens. Okay? Hopefully you don't have to go through some of the craziness that I've been through. But life happens. Okay? God helps us understand what life is, what these things are meant for, right? If you'll go to the next slide. Romans 5. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance. And endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. And in this hope, we will not lead to disappointment, for we know how dearly God loves us, because he has given us the Holy Spirit to fill our hearts with his love. You are all going through that. If you don't think you are, you're kind of kidding yourself. You are all going through trials. Some of you 7th graders coming up, you haven't gone through some of the stuff that some of the college freshmen and seniors have gone through, but you're still going through these things. Parents fight. Friends fight. Medical issues happen, right? These things happen. Everything that needs to be earned or everything that needs to be achieved has already been achieved for you to get through that. Okay, know that right now. You don't need to do anything to get yourself joy through that, except turn. Okay? That's all you need to do to get through that, is turn to the right place. You've got options. If you turn to the right place, you'll be fine. Okay? But life will happen. Don't kid yourself. Just because you turn doesn't mean that the stuff's not going to happen. Okay? You're just prepared for it because you know that you are planted in the right place. All right? If you can go back a slide. So I work at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. And here's some things that I know about what y'all are going through right now. I think that y'all's generation is being faced with more challenges. I mean, it's a lot what y'all are having to deal with right now. The speed and the velocity at which y'all are facing challenges and you have opportunities to mess up is different than any generation in history. And any adult that says that y'all are soft or anything like that is kidding themselves. You're being hit with stuff that I never had to deal with. We were joking last night, email didn't even exist when we were in your spot. Okay? The opportunities for us to screw up were nothing compared to what y'all are dealing with. And there's a lot of people in your generation that are not turning the right way. You know these people. Some of you may be these people. I see kids coming into the ER every single day that have lost the joy. Okay? And it is, to me, personally, it happens to adults too. But I think it is the crisis of your generation that people have lost the joy. You see stuff on the news that we as adults are putting on you that is unfair to you. And you're having to deal with it. This is how you're going to get out of it. Okay? But there is a lot of kids and a lot of teens that are not able to handle it right now, and they're turning to the wrong place. And it is terrible. But here's the other thing I know. In that burden, right? In that challenge, back to Romans 5, in that velocity of problems that are just coming at you all the time, you're being prepared for just incredible things. Again, we talked last night in our group. Y'all are connected like no generation in history. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever. Does anybody still use Facebook other than old people? Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Technology and the networks that you have are amazing. And so you have an opportunity to change at a much faster rate. You have the opportunity to impact other people at a much faster rate that didn't exist when we were kids. You have the opportunity to search out ways to turn to the right way. You have the opportunity to help someone else turn the right way. I think there are absolutely incredible things ahead for you. Okay? If you are planted in the right way, if you are planted in a church, if you are planted in Jesus, who has prepared you for this and done everything you need to do to be great, to find joy, to find peace, y'all are going to achieve greatness. I have no doubt in my mind. Christianity can get really complicated. We do it. We try to screw it up somehow. It is really, really simple. Can you go to the next slide? 2 slides. Sorry, one more. This is it. 2 things. Y'all know this? Everybody know this verse? Everybody knows this verse, right? Jesus made it really easy. Okay? Y'all can read through this. Love your God and love your neighbor. The first one is a you thing, right? Love your God. The second one is a them thing. You got to love them. Okay? That's it. That's all you got to do. If we go back to our verse, it talks about create a clean heart in me, right? So that I can feel joy, and then I go out and I teach the rebels. That's what it said in the first verse. It's a you thing and it's a them thing. Okay? Today we're going to go out and we're going to do, you can go to the next slide. I had to give another shout out to my senior group, or my college freshman group, sorry. I really do think that you are equipped to do amazing things. We're going to go out today and we're going to go out in our community and do all kinds of great things for people who need joy. places that need joy, that need your touch, okay? It's a you thing, it's a them thing, okay? I know this group. I've been with them for 4 years. They are going to do amazing things, okay? Learn from them. You young'uns, they've been here every single Sunday. You've got to turn to the right place in order to stay planted to do great things, all right? I know you're going to do it. We're going to go out this afternoon and do it. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great night. I appreciate y'all letting me get up here and talk to y'all this morning, and I just wish you all the best and hope y'all have a great rest of the weekend, all right? Thank you. All right, here, anybody got any DJ nicknames for Emily? MC what? Ooh, MC Reeves.
MC Reeves.
I like it.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up one more round for him. Thank you so much. Hello. Are y'all ready to go out into the world and to serve? Let's hear it. Okay. All right. Good morning. Did you need... Okay, so everyone just stays.
Hey guys,